broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 56 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. Can't believe we're on episode 56 when I just said that right now. 56. Think about that, guys. We've done like every episode's like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we've done 56 episodes. It's like over 100 hours of content. It's crazy.
I was going to say that, are we approaching almost a week of you could listen to us for like a straight week without interruption?
Good. A fan emailed me and said that they listened to all of our catalog in 2 weeks, and I thought that was impossible. Wow. I was like, how could you have done that? But I believe them. If you're listening right now, I don't remember who it was, but if they're listening right now, I believe you, but still, that's some dedication.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we've got Trevor and we got Damon. We got the whole crew to here today. So, which is great. We're just happy to have everybody. So, especially since, we lost Damon for a little while there, and now we have him back again. So,
yes,
all the Damon fans are probably super happy about that.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Like I said, I'm in a new office. It's small, but I like it. It's kind of separated from everything else. So, and as I was telling these guys, I think that we're actually going to end up with a Disney room in this house because we have a spare bedroom that it's funny. My daughter, as she's getting a little bit older now, not that old, she's 9, but, she's like, maybe I try something new. So she's into this whole flower watercolor thing. So a lot of the Disney stuff is getting kind of retired. And we actually have some really nice stuff. Like we have some original cells from Winnie the Pooh. Back when they were selling them, we have some Frozen original art that was sent to us actually for our website and stuff like that. So we have a lot of things that we're going to fill this room with. So it will be nice. Hopefully I can get a picture of it once we're done.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm back to monopolizing the conversation. Is everyone happy about that?
I think we'd all love to see that too. That sounds awesome. So
Damon, after the last episode, I don't think you ever shared a picture of your podcast studio.
It's funny. I had it up there and then I took it down because I was like, does anyone really care? Maybe like I said, the Disney room will be a little bit different. It was it was hot in the attic, but like I said, now I'm in a little bit of a smaller space. That's a lot easier for me.
Yeah, well, and I know, Trevor, I know you're modeling your bathroom that you're remodeling after the Poly, right?
Yeah, it's gonna have some Poly inspiration to it, so it's not gonna look exactly like the Poly, but yeah, when that's done, I'll be excited to share that too, because we think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't really have, I've got very subtle Disney stuff around my house, like very subtle, and what I mean by that is like I've got some stuff that I buy a lot of stuff at the Art of Disney. Every time we go, we tend to buy a couple pieces of art from the Art of Disney at Epcot, which made me so sad that they're going to be, possibly tearing that down. But we go there every time we go through. They have a little computer there. And if you haven't done this before, you totally should, because they have some really cool stuff on there. But they have a little computer where you can order art on demand, and then they ship it to you. And then, so when they ship it to us, then we get it framed. But like in our living room, we have like a sketch of Main Street for Disney World, like a hand-drawn type of sketch. Obviously it's not the actual sketch, it's a reproduction of it, but if you didn't look at it closely, you probably wouldn't know it was Disney. Like it's because it doesn't say like Disney big on it anywhere, but like if you look at it close enough, you would get it. And then upstairs we have upstairs is a little more overt. We have a whole hallway that's basically just all Disney attraction posters, and also Disney attraction posters, and also more like concept sketches. So we have a concept sketch for the Jungle Cruise for Disneyland. We have a concept sketch for the train station at Disneyland. So it's cool stuff like that, where again, if you look at it, you wouldn't necessarily know it's Disney, but it's Disney. And then I think we have a People Mover one, and oh gosh, what's the other one? I should know. I look at these things all the time. But yeah, so we've got a Disney hallway. So one of these days we'll do a room. But anyway, that's not where I thought we were going to start today. But regardless, we get off on these things.
I think it's good to talk about these things because I think we all have Disney stuff, right? And like you said, it is on different gauges. Some of us are very upfront about it. Like, you know, kind of the same thing, you know, before we started renovating our house, we had all kinds of artwork up and everything that it's going to go back up when we're done. But we're really trying to make the house look even more Disney than it was, because I think we were very subtle for a while. And now that we're remodeling the house, we're like, you know what? We want this to look very Disney. We want this to be how we want it to look. Right. So, but I think that's good. I think it's, as much as, you know, you want to, you know, have, I don't even know what you would call it, but like, you know, you want to have the house, you know, be more neutral, I guess. I think it's more fun to do the Disney stuff. Like I like, why would you not want to have all that stuff out and enjoy it, right? So
no, that's totally true. And and as I sit here in my office talking about this, I'm thinking to myself, I have tan walls in this office. There's nothing really on the walls. It's just an office. I should just turn this into my Disney room and put all my Disney stuff in here. That would make the most sense.
You know what I have? I ended up taking what I thought was a really nice picture of the castle with the reflection on the water last time when it was lit up blue. I actually ended up doing that on canvas, a pretty small one that I'm going to keep in my office. Plus my in the box Figment, obviously. You know,
I'm looking at my mint out of the box Figment.
Well, see, those words don't mesh together, my friend. There is no such thing as a mint out of the box Figment. Sorry to tell you that.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. The first thing I did was take it out of the box.
Then it is no longer mint. It is a used, hand oiled up piece of, I don't know what at this point.
I mean,
it's a toy. It's a toy. That's what you have left is a toy.
Do you really have the Figment Funko Pop or no?
No, I do. It's right there. Actually,
oh my gosh!
Not only is mine mint in box, it's actually still got the bubble wrap around it from the move. So
that's amazing. Yeah. You have more self control than I do. I just had to take him out of the box. I just love Figment so much. Figment was my favorite character when I was growing up. When I was a kid, I had a Figment doll. He's a little stuffed animal. That was my favorite thing in the world. So I don't know. I just had to have him out. You're right, though. You know, I ruined it as far as collectibles go. That's fine. I'm cool with it.
Well, I think, you know, collectibles are actually, you know, we should continue this further in the podcast talking about collectibles, because I think this is going to dovetail in really nice to some of the stuff that we actually have to talk about here.
Oh, like the Star Wars stuff we're going to talk about a little bit?
Yes.
In a little bit? Yeah, I know. I'm sure everyone's getting tired of Star Wars talk, but, you know, we have to talk about it. I mean, you're talking about the most anticipated land that Disney's ever built is opening, like, literally this week, so we have to talk about all the stuff that's coming out about it. We can't just, you know, not talk about it, right? So,
well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's, you know, this is a nice preview for Florida, what Florida is going to be like, but you know, we're kind of letting California deal with all the pain.
Yeah, all the pain points to start off, right?
Yeah.
So, well, it's okay. So let's get into stuff, right? And unless you guys want to talk about any more of your Disney-fied stuff in your house, but by the way, listeners, if you do have some Disney-fied stuff in your house, send it our way. We like to see this kind of stuff. You know, we like to get a peek into what kind of stuff you guys have, and you know, some of you guys do just send this stuff to us, so we do appreciate that, and we like to see it. So, but first, you know, and I don't like to focus on myself on here, but we're going to talk a little bit about my upcoming trip. So I am going to Disney a week from today. So I will be there for 8 days, 7 nights. We decided this time to do. We decided we're going to do annual passes because we're going to go twice this year, and then maybe even squeeze in a third time before they expire next year. So it just made sense. And those of you that haven't looked at it, you know, if well, I don't want to do an annual pass. I mean, basically once you get past like 8 days, or it's really more like 9 days, it pretty much makes sense to do an annual pass price wise. And someone's going to write in and tell me, oh no, it's 11 days. Okay, that's fine. But if you're going for 2 trips for more than a week, it's definitely worth it to do an annual pass for the year, especially when it includes Memory Maker. I mean, that's a huge thing. So,
oh yeah, that's like over $100 right there, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, especially, you know, this is the first time we're taking my daughter. She's 13 months old. I mean, we are going to go to every single PhotoPass photographer that we could possibly find. I mean, why wouldn't we, right? So I think it's worth it right there just for that to be to be an annual pass holder. So we've done it before, but we just we let it lapse last time. It really just kind of depends on how we're vacationing and what makes sense. But this time around it made sense because we're going for a week, next week, and then we're going for another week, really 8 days in October as well. So made sense this time. So I'm actually staying at Old Key West, which I never thought I'd stay at Old Key West, and there were other things available, but the reason why I'm staying at Old Key West is because for a couple different reasons. First of all, it was cheap point wise. So we're there for 8 days is 99 points for a studio, which is, I mean, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, for sure. For 8 days, Poly doesn't come close to that.
Well, it's 7 nights, right? So we go by nights, right? But 7 nights, 99 points. Pretty great. It's not a preferred room, so they have the preferred rooms that are closer to the was it Hospitality House for Old Key West, or is that Saratoga? Oh, Old Key West people, don't kill me. I've never stayed at Old Key West. This is going to be a new experience for me. I'm actually looking forward to it. But part of the reason I decided to stay there, besides the cheap points, is because they have huge studios. They have the biggest studios of any of the DVC resorts. And so at first it was just my wife, my daughter and I going. And then my mom and my stepfather decided they were going to join too. So now they're coming down we're starting our day, our first day is on Sunday. They're coming down on Wednesday. And they're going to stay until Saturday. And so the other big benefit of an Old Key West studio is that they have 2 beds in it. It's not a bed and a sofa, a pull-out. It's 2 real beds. And so I think that was a huge benefit too, just knowing, my stepfather's like 6'5", so I didn't think he was going to want to sleep on the sleeper sofa. I just felt like his feet were going to be hanging off of it. So this felt like a good decision because, there's the two beds there and they're big rooms, so we won't feel as cramped with 5 people in one room. And, we're at Disney, so we're gonna. It doesn't matter that much about the room for me in this situation because we're gonna be out and about all the time. Maybe it's gonna be a little bit different since we have my daughter, but we're gonna be in the room more. So
you're gonna have a car too, right?
Yes, we'll have a car too. Yeah. We drive. So
yeah, I think if you're staying at Old Key West, at least from what I've looked at on the maps, having a car means. It's not a bad resort, but bus-wise, it's huge. Still, it'll take you a lot longer going by bus. So I think that sounds like it should be good.
The last time you were there, we've been on a break for so long because of my daughter being born, right? But and since that time, they've done the thing with on the app where you can check when the bus is going to arrive. Because I envisioned myself just sitting, laying on my bed until I, and looking at the app and going, okay, the bus is going to be here in 5 minutes. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like not leaving until the app says it's coming. So I don't know. Did you use it that way? I mean, did you do it that way, Trevor? I don't know.
We did use it, but I found even at that, it wasn't completely accurate all the time. So
well, it's almost too accurate though, right? Because basically it gets stuck in traffic and then the time goes up, right? It's like
yeah, I mean that's what happened to us a couple of times. Is it was like we looked at the app and it's like, okay, well, let's get out to the bus stop, and then we stood out there for 20 minutes because the bus was delayed, right? So yeah,
and I understand that. I mean, but at the same time, I'm like, I'll just I'll monitor and everything. But actually, I was, I've seen a lot of pictures of the rooms and had a conception of how large they were. But then our friend Chad actually just stayed there and he posted a video on his page. And I was like, wow, these rooms are really big. So I'm excited to stay there. It's going to be a new experience. I've heard that Olivia's is really good. So I think we'll probably do maybe a brunch there. And then, on Wednesday, when we're waiting for them to arrive, we're going to do a pool day that day. Which we never do a pool day. Like, that's never been a thing my wife and I do. We go hard at the parks. We're there every morning till night. So we've never really taken a pool day. And I'm not entirely convinced, by the way, that we are actually going to take a pool day. I think we will end up popping into one of the parks at some point. Like, we just won't be able to help ourselves. And that's the nice thing about being a pass holder, too, is you can just kind of do that. You don't have to worry about using a day of tickets, So I could imagine us ending up at the park that day too. But we do have plans at Disney Springs that night, and so we're actually gonna go. I've heard mixed things about the Edison, but But I've heard it's kind of cool, like the ambiance at least, and the atmosphere there. I've heard mixed things about the food, but we wanted to check it out, so we're gonna eat there on Wednesday night, and then right after that, we booked the Void. My wife and I are gonna go do Star Wars at the Void, so pretty psyched about that.
In celebration of Star Wars Land.
In celebration of me being at Disney again and wanting to go to the Void.
That too, yeah.
So, so I'm psyched about that. You know, it's just helpful to have my parents there to be able to watch the kids, so we can go and do the Void. So
you don't want your daughter in
she
VR
can't walk
crawling
yet.
around?
So yeah, I mean, I don't think
Yeah, no.
she's able to go into the Void.
Yeah, you're actually supposed to be 10, I think. Before.
Oh, is it 10? Wow.
I believe it's 10, yeah.
That stinks for my daughter. She's gonna have to wait a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, you know what'd be good is after you do the Void, we'll all know, or you'll know what me and Damon have been going on about for so long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can actually finally participate in a conversation about the Void.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. So I'm excited for that. That should be fun. And part of the reason we chose to do some Disney Springs, restaurants this time was because it's right there, right? It's a quick boat ride over from Old Key West, and so we figured we'd check some of that out. We're doing some of our typical ones like 50s Prime Time. We're doing a couple new ones actually this time. So we're also going to eat at Homecoming on I think Thursday night. But we've never eaten at the Plaza before. And I would love to hear from listeners some opinions on this, because I did some Googling and I was looking at Disney Food Blog, and Disney Food Blog kind of described the Plaza as like almost like a hidden gem in Magic Kingdom. And initially we had Skipper Canteen on there, and I decided to change it just because we had eaten there before, and we're trying to go to new places. So have either one of you guys eaten at the Plaza?
No, I've always written the Plaza off.
That's what everyone does, right? Yeah, and it was easy to get a reservation, which scares me, but I don't know. So if anybody out there has an experience with the Plaza, positive or negative, shoot me an email. I like the menu. The menu looked good. It looked like it had some fun stuff on it. So we're gonna try it. We like to try stuff. So also, we haven't done Liberty Tree for dinner in like forever. So we're going to do that. Actually, that one's Thursday night because we're going to Magic Kingdom that day. So we're going to do, and my stepfather's favorite thing is Thanksgiving dinner. So absolutely perfect for him. So, and I love Liberty Tree. The past couple times we've been there, it's always good. I mean, it's just consistently good. So, haven't been there forever. We've actually, Trevor, you're going to kill me for this, never done Garden Grill before. So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right. Are you doing lunch or dinner there? Or breakfast or lunch or dinner?
We are doing breakfast there.
Okay. So I've actually never done the breakfast there either, but I've heard it's one of the better breakfasts on property as well, though. It's okay. I feel
like you can't really screw up breakfast, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I guess the way we were actually talking about this the other day is that, a lot of places, the breakfast menu is kind of, the same. Like it's, sausage and pancakes
bacon
and
eggs and Mickey waffles and yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's kind of hard not to screw up, but I remember people saying that Garden Grill has there's cinnamon buns and stuff that are supposed to be, it's supposed to be one of the better ones because of the style, how they do it. It's like they serve everything in a skillet.
It's like family style, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
One of the most different breakfast buffets on property is at Animal Kingdom Lodge at Boma. That one is they have really different stuff on that one. I mean, they still have your standard fare, but then they also have a lot of other stuff like quinoa and stuff like that you don't see at all the other ones,
Yeah, so I'll be curious how the Garden Grill breakfast is, because like I said, we usually do it for lunch because the lunch there is amazing. And I mean, all in all, I think you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did it when I was a really little kid, but I do not remember it at all. I remember something about, it turning, and I don't even think it might not have even been a character experience at that point. But that's the other thing about this. We've scheduled 2 character things because we also have breakfast at the Crystal Palace. And we have no idea how my daughter's going to react to characters. So we could end up canceling both of these if she like gets terrified by characters, because that's just not going to be a good experience for anybody. So we're going to figure out pretty early on if she's afraid of these or not. So
yeah, you're right. That was a good point. I was actually going to say only 2, but because I think every time we go, we always have multiple character breakfasts going on because our son loves them. So.
Well, I don't know how she's going to react. I mean, I feel like she's the type of kid that will react well, but I don't know.
You never know, right? You don't know what's going on in their head until they're standing there.
Exactly right. Like, I mean, her favorite stuffed animal is this little Tigger doll that she cuddles with all the time, but I don't know how she's going to react to seeing Tigger in person and very large. She could be scared. She could be excited. I don't know. So we're going to see. We're going to see. So, and I think I put Damon to sleep talking about this. Oh gosh!
I just let Tom do Tom.
I like that. I appreciate that. It's really nice of you.
I was just gonna say this is our next trip is going to be the first one where we do not do any character. Anything.
Oh wow! Yeah,
yes.
Just do no character at all.
Nope, I don't think we're going to do it.
I get it. I mean, you end up paying extra for the character meals, right? Because you're paying for the experience, right? And the food is never as good, really.
It's
I think
a lot of money, and we're going over Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
So we've actually made the decision. We were talking about Liberty and all that, and we are just going to go walk around Epcot and just eat whatever there is. We're not going to do a sit down Thanksgiving. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to hit up Epcot. It's interesting
That's cool.
I kind of talked to my friend about our trip, and he was like, "Well, I think we're going to sit in Hollywood Studios for 3 days." And I said, all right, that's fine. I said, really, just Hollywood Studios? And he said, well, maybe Animal Kingdom, maybe Magic Kingdom, but, he really wants to pass on Epcot. So we're going to be there a day earlier than they are. So we'll be there for Thanksgiving. So that was my thought, is that I'm just going to walk around Epcot for Thanksgiving.
You got to go to Epcot for the Christmas decorations there. I mean, they do a lot of cool stuff in all the different countries. It's awesome to go to Epcot for Christmas time. I mean, I know it's Thanksgiving, but it's Christmas.
Yeah, no, there'll be Christmas. I think they're just so caught up in the Star Wars hype.
Got it.
That they just want to be there 24/7.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
Have either of you guys used the babysitting services there from Disney before?
No. First time I took my son, he was 4, and my parents came along, so I never.
A resounding no.
Yeah.
What is that? Wait, you're freaking me out here. Why are you saying resounding no?
Well, I guess the question is, does your child already go to daycare?
Yeah, she goes to daycare.
Well, then I guess it's different.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let somebody watch my kid that young. That's my personal take. So unless it's a family member, so that's my thing. So no, I would never have used it.
No, that's fair. I mean, and there's definitely concerns around that. I think the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my wife and I were talking about, before my parents get there, maybe having a night to ourselves. Like, my daughter goes to bed at like 7:00. So, she goes down for bed for 7:00, and then maybe we could go to Epcot or something afterwards and enjoy a couple hours to ourselves, and using the Disney babysitting service. The kid's going to be asleep the whole time. She's not going to wake up. So I don't know if anybody's had experiences with them. I would love to hear it. But I mean, we have a similar concern, Damon, because I mean, since my daughter's been born, we have not left her with a non-family member yet. So,
wait, you just said she goes to
daycare. I mean, but we haven't for babysitting or anything like that, Let's a non-professional or daycare. Yeah. I mean, or a family member.
Yeah. Daycare versus like one-on-one, I guess, is a little, or like having someone come to your house and watch kids. Same kind of thing where we've been the same way. Like our son's been in daycare, but we've never hired a babysitter to stay at the house or anything. It's always been a family member.
Yeah. And I get that. And trust me, we don't want to leave her, but we just were wondering what kind of experience people have had with it. And so yeah. So if you've had any experience with Disney's, I know it's a third party that Disney partners with, but if you guys have had any experiences, let me know. Reach out. What else did we have on here? What else are we doing? I think the thing with this is I just said to my wife, like, with my daughter, not knowing how she's going to react to the heat, to being in the, stroller a lot, to, all the things. It is all unknowns because we have no idea how she's going to react to anything. And this was another thing too. And I don't know how you guys, I don't think I brought this up on the podcast before. It's like we were really struggling with the idea of like, do we bring her on the Haunted Mansion Like, I mean, I don't know. I think we talked about this though. I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, right? Where you guys said no or yes. I don't remember.
I would say another resounding no way.
Really? See, all the responses I got, I asked this on a Facebook group, and everyone was like, "Yeah, just bring them on. They're fine."
It's that's a real hard one, right?
Yeah.
Because every kid reacts differently, and I know, like, when I was 4 years old, my parents took me to Disneyland, and we went on Haunted Mansion, and at the time, I was freaked out by it, but I was also curious. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, it did scare me, but not enough that I was like, no, I'm never going on it again. And for that, I'm glad, because I've been on it more times than I can count since then.
Yeah.
But
I always it's tough, right, though, Trevor? I mean, I always look at it like, what did you benefit from it, though? Right? I always look at it like this, like, so all right, there's downside, but what's the actual benefit? So you wrote it at 4, and what was the benefit?
I got the tune stuck in my head, so I wanted to go back and look at it again.
Yeah. See, for me, that doesn't sound like a resounding benefit that would make me want to chance it, right? When you're talking about a child, because what can go good and what can go bad, right? So you weigh those factors and go, all right, well, the best thing that can happen is I go, oh, I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing that can happen? They could be freaked
never
out
sleep
about it,
again.
have night terrors.
They never sleep
so
again. Yeah.
I kind of weigh those two in my head and go, yeah, I'd rather go this side of the seesaw. Just makes me feel safer.
Yeah, I guess again, dealing with my own son as well. So similar thing is, we took him about the same age, so he was about 4 as well the first time we took him, and he didn't really react to it at all. But then on the flip side of that, so speaking of night terrors, he of all stupid things, he saw a video game called Five Nights at Freddy's, if you've ever heard of that.
No.
And that caused him to, like, freak out and not sleep for like a month straight. But that would, and I mean, if for anyone who's seen the game, you kind of understand why. Like, it's like a demented Chuck E. Cheese thing. But then, like, that versus the Haunted Mansion, you would think that the Haunted Mansion would freak him out on the same level, but it didn't. So it's really hard to say. Did you
just put that at the same level as Haunted Mansion?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say that is at a totally different level, that video game.
No, I'm saying though that like you would think that to a kid, both would be scary on some level, but the Haunted Mansion was like never. He never reacted to it the same way that I saw him react to this game.
I think the thing for Haunted Mansion, at least for my kids, was the beginning room was far scarier.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with that is like, you're stuck. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of stuck at that point. I mean, I think that even just from the loud thunder, just even from the thunder, sort of sound. I mean, even if nothing else, I mean, that can be scary. And why? Like I said, there's really no benefit.
Well, so I've been told that you can talk to a cast member and you can skip the stretch room. You can go straight to the doom buggies. So,
yeah, but again, what's your benefit again?
Well, here's the thing. I think my daughter's 13 months old, right? So I don't think that she even has fear at this point. Like she I mean, wow. She's not. I mean, no. Right. No. Here's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think she would look at a ghost and find it scary. Like, I don't think that we're there yet. I'm less concerned about this trip than I am when she's 1.5. Like, I think when we go on the next trip 5 months from now, I think I'm a lot more concerned about that trip bringing her on.
Do you want to talk to the person with the psychology degree, or are you just going to kind of go out on your own with this one?
I don't know. You have a psychology degree?
I do happen to have one. Hey, listen, you do you, but my thought is there's no true benefit to be had.
No, that's fair.
And fear does start at a very young age. No.
I guess what I'm saying is the things on the Haunted Mansion, is that going to really scare her?
You mean like things popping out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I'm just telling you.
Let's touch back with Tom when she's 13, and we can go over and see how this works. Would that be the only one you guys would say, or would you say like not a Pirates of the Caribbean either? Like, or is that just the only one that you would say that's an interesting thought. So
yeah,
I think again, I don't know if Trevor and myself would agree necessarily, pace for pace on this one, but I take this whole thing and say, all right, well, I'm weighing this out. what's the true benefit, in terms of that age and what we can do. I would say no pirates. I mean, that's just me though, and my kids, right? And everyone's different, but I would say no pirates. I would say no Haunted Mansion. Gosh, I mean, man, there's a few other ones I might actually even say no to at that age, to be honest with you. But that's just me.
I guess, yeah, if you want to go down that road as well, like I'm thinking again, Disneyland, but the Snow White ride in Disneyland, even though it's in Fantasyland, it's actually
Snow White ride is brutal, man.
It's pretty freaky. Like
that got my kids. Again, Tom, I think what it is at that point is a lot of the popping out and a lot of the noise. In general, which again, it just depends how you feel as a parent. Everyone is different. So, I mean, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just telling you what I did, what I feel like.
And I think kind of what Damon's saying here too is, you have to feel your kid out on this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like do something and, just really watch how they react. And
I would agree with Trevor. And I think a very good ramp up ride is Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
honestly, I think that's
heffalumps and all that.
Yeah, I think that's a good start, right? You have the thunder, you have that whole kind of dark, windy scenario, but like I don't think that there's anything. I think that's a good start in terms of ride. That's again just my opinion.
Well, here's the thing. So just to clarify, I was with you guys in the beginning on this, right? So when my wife and I were initially talking about this, we're like, oh, no, there's no way we're taking her on the Haunted Mansion. Like, why would we do that? And then so I threw it out there, though, because I, have zero experience with this. So I threw it out in one of the Disney groups, and literally every single response was like, oh, we take our 1-year-old on everything that they can go on. Like, Pirates and Haunted Mansion. And that was all the responses. So it's like, okay, so maybe I'm being overly cautious here. Maybe I'm just being like, maybe this is my hang up and not, it's not really an issue.
And I would agree with you. I mean, I'm definitely an overly cautious parent in general. So you have to kind of weigh that in for my opinion, but I'm definitely an overcautious parent.
Yeah. And I guess like same with us is, with our son, the funny thing was, we were very much the same way. Like even when we took him when he was 4, we like at 4 years old, Haunted Mansion, we made sure ahead of time. We were like, okay, this is a haunted house. There is ghosts there. Like we really prepped him for it and he was fine with it. But then, yeah, like I said, things that you wouldn't think would necessarily freak them out, do freak them out. And then the things that to you seem like should freak them out, they just kind of look at it and go, okay. But But yeah, like I said, the hard part is, just kind of gauging how your kid's going to react. And like Damon said, starting off with, start with one dark ride. Start with Winnie the Pooh. If she decides that, she's not having it at that point, it's the same like with the characters, right? If you figure out after that, it's like, nope, we're not doing this right now. Yeah. Don't force it. That's something I see all the time too on like Disney groups and stuff is, I even see cast members chime in on parents who, take their kid to see Mickey Mouse and the kid is like screaming and the parent is like, make sure you smile. And it's like, okay, like
kid's terrified.
Yeah. I mean, you know your own kid, right? And I'm sure, Tom, I know you'll get down there and you'll figure it out.
Yep.
Real quick. But yeah, I mean, Haunted Mansion at like a year old. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I would love to hear from listeners though to see what they've done because I'm willing to take all suggestions on this because I feel like I just don't know what to think of how she's going to react. So it'll be interesting. But like you said, I think it's a good idea to start with something like that, like Winnie the Pooh, and work our way up to other things. So this is I didn't expect to actually have this conversation, but I think it's an interesting one, right? So
yeah. Well. Honestly, you're treading new ground even for me because, like I said, we waited until our son was older before we even started going to Disney. So I've never gotten to experience a 1-year-old at Disney.
Yeah, we're crazy people, obviously.
Well, you're also way closer than me too. So
that's also true.
You can afford to do that.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I mean, I think the last time we went, we saw like newborns there, and I was like, whoa, that seems like a lot. But at one, she's a little more, self-sufficient, and she could do a little bit more. I mean, not,
My daughter was there at that age too, and I think my daughter was, gosh, was she even that old? She might have been. Let's see, March, April, May, June. We probably had her 3 months, 4 months. Did we have her 3 or 4 months, and then we had her again, a year later. I mean, we've gone every year. Once the boys were like 2 or 3, so. And we even snuck Universal in there once, too. So, I mean, again, like, there's a lot more sleeping. There's a lot more, not being on rides. But, I mean, we had 2 others. So, it's funny because, again, it's unfortunate this is, tearing away to a whole different discussion. But that doesn't surprise me either.
It's our show. We do what we want, right?
I always think about all the people say, oh, your kid's never going to remember. Your kid's never going to remember. It's not about the kid at that age. It's about you at that age, right? And it's about, like, experiencing the joy of having your child with you, not necessarily your child experiencing the joy of Disney, if that makes sense. And I think that, it's worth it to go at that age. And yes, they're not going to remember it. There's no doubt about that. But, they're going to at some point fondly think about the fact that you did take them at that age, which is always nice. And then you're going to have all the pictures and memories for yourself. So like I said, I mean, I'm a vet at that. I mean, we did, like I said, our daughter early because we had the boys and we weren't going to stop them from going. So, she was young and we got through it.
Well, and I guess to your point, Damon, I think, the whole idea of like, what's the benefit of bringing her on Haunted Mansion? I guess the benefit is we want to share one of our favorite rides with our daughter, but she's not old enough to remember that. And we want to spend time with her.
Screw her up for life. I get it.
Or screw her up for life. Yes, exactly. Gotcha. So, but you know what I'm saying though? Like we want to do things together as a family while we're on vacation. And it's funny. My wife and I were talking about this, just being the 3 of us, like there's a lot of rides that we're going to go on by ourselves pretty much. So like, I want to go on Big Thunder. My wife's going to stay with my daughter while I go on Big Thunder, and then we're going to switch. And it's just like, we'll miss that kind of going on things together, but that's what we, have to do. That's what our setup is now. So with the daughter, and I'm not even complaining about it. It's just a new thing for us. We're just not used to it, So, and I guess that's what it is. We want to share, and maybe it's just being impatient because we want to share these things with our daughter now, when in reality, she's not going to be able to enjoy them for a couple of years anyway. So.
No, and she's going to look back and go, why the hell did you take me on that ride? I was 1. What sort of parents were you?
Crazy ones.
Yeah.
Crazy ones. So,
here's some food for thought too. I know you're talking about, enjoying all the rides with, the whole family. When we started out, it was all 3 of us going on, Big Thunder and all of that. But then as my son's gotten older, my wife has actually developed motion sickness as she's gone along, to the point where a lot of the rides that she would have gone on with us previously, she doesn't do anymore. So now it's my wife is off, doing whatever, whether she's on another, like a dark ride or something like that. And it's just me and my son doing those rides together now. So even how I guess we thought that family dynamic was going to go, you don't know,
yeah, that's true.
Wait 5 years.
Well, we also don't know, I don't know if my daughter's going to be the daredevil like my wife is, the one that goes skydiving and goes on every ride ever. Or she's going to be like me, who goes on a lot of things, but not everything, is not a fan of jumping out of planes or, going on a roller coaster that's like 300 feet in the air. That's not my thing, but that's my wife's thing. So,
or one that's 10 feet in the air in the dark.
That's not true. Regardless. So yeah, we got to see how that's going to turn out. We just don't know. She could be a daredevil. She might not be. I don't know. So, but the one last thing I want to mention here, because I do want to move on to other things. We've been talking about me for a while, and we have other things to talk about. So while I am there at Disney, I will be, walking around. I will have we mentioned this in the previous episode. I will have a welcome home hat on. These really great hats that we had made, and I will be carrying some with me as well. And so the whole idea.
I'm interrupting him. I can't even let this go on. If we do not have our hats, if Trevor and myself do not have our hats before other people get their hats, we're all going to be disappointed, and we might boycott. We might stage a union riot.
There's a reason why I haven't sent you your hats yet. Is I'm waiting for the shirts I ordered to come in so I can send everything to you at once. So
that's fair.
Okay, right. That's fair. The shirts have not come in yet, so I'm waiting for the shirts. So
I don't. Okay. Wait a second. So their shirts are not going to come in before you go?
Oh, I don't know. They should come in this week, so we'll see. They should come in soon. So
okay.
Yeah. we are just so everybody knows.
I've been looking to wear my stuff, and
I know. I'm sorry. It took forever to get the hats made. It took forever.
And hopefully my buttons come with that too. At least can I get a button at least?
I mean, I'm looking at the buttons right now, and they have our old logo on them. But I can definitely send them to you.
Yeah, I still want one with the old logo. That's fine.
We'll send it to you. I'll get it to you. But no, I will get these things to you guys. But so I have all these welcome home hats that look great. They have our logo on them, our new logo, and so I'm going to bring those around with me every day. I'm going to post on the Facebook page a hint of where I'm at. You come and find me. I will give you a hat. I also have stickers that I made as well, so you can also have a sticker if you'd like a sticker. So it's just gonna be a fun thing that we do, and if we don't hand them all out, which I'm assuming is probably gonna, we're not gonna hand all of them out, but if we don't hand them all out, we'll figure out another way to do a fun contest to give these out, because this is just a print that we made, so this is not something we're necessarily going to be selling when our merchandise store eventually does launch. These are kind of special one-offs. So for now, anyway, who knows? Maybe we will sell them, but
yeah, well, we have to see what they look like.
yeah, exactly. We got to evaluate. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about some other stuff here, right?
Did we talk about anything on our list yet?
No, we've talked about nothing on the list, and there's so many Star Wars things.
Except Tom's upcoming trip.
Yeah, it's all
monopolized everything.
So yeah, let's switch gears over to Star Wars and all the things that they're going to sell us. Speaking of collector's items again.
Yeah, you want to start off? One of you guys want to start off reading this, since I've been talking for this whole time?
So where are we starting? We're starting with the special photo ops and interactive scenes with the droids at Galaxy's Edge. So a recent article from the Mercury News details how special droid tracks were made throughout the grounds of the Black Spire outpost, leading guests right to the droid factory shop, where they can also meet a bunch of audio animatronic astromech droids. That is a mouthful. Lined up in front of the workshop for a photo op reminiscent of a scene from episode 4, with all the droids stacked for sale inside of the Jawa manned sandcrawler. That's cool. I find it funny that they're basically like the droids are leading people to the Black Spire outpost. Well, like leading them to the gift shop, right?
That's true. That's Disney knows how to get you in that gift shop, and that is pretty funny. Speaking, did you? I don't have this on the list, by the way. Did you see the other article about the animatronic that's going to be like inside the pipes of the drinking fountains? Did anyone else see that one?
No, inside the pipes.
Gosh. Yes, it's. Let me see if I can find it and send it to you guys. But if you Google it, it should come up. But there was a whole thing about an animatronic that is from the movies, and again, Star Wars fans, please don't kill me. But it's an animatronic that I guess is in the movies in some character form, that will also be like in the pipes of the suit of the system where you drink out of the water fountain, and it will be moving and everything.
Is this the thing that grabbed Luke and dragged him under the water when they were in the trash compactor?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know how it's all going to work. I'm just saying, I read it somewhere and I thought it was cool.
Okay. But yeah, I guess
that actually sounds pretty neat though.
Yeah, right? It's different, right? I mean, stuff in the pipes, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's going to be like underneath each water fountain or something like that.
The article I read didn't really talk about like how it actually is displayed, because I think it's also going to be in the bathrooms too.
Oh, geez, that's even more disturbing, because that thing was like, it was like that weird eyeball thing that came up out of the wall.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
that's exactly what it is.
That's going to freak some people out, I think.
Yeah, no, here, I just sent it to you guys.
Yeah, I think what it's going to be more like, Trevor, is like, it's not going to be in the water fountain. There'll be like a big sort of glass tank next to water fountains.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see it in there. And that water fountain will look like it feeds from those glass tanks.
Gotcha.
That's what it kind of sounds like. I could be wrong, but that's
so this says the audio animatronic Dianoga. Anyone? Sounds right. Will live in the pipes of the drinking fountain and nearby bathroom at Black Spire Outpost. It is the big eye thing that you were talking about. Yeah, so I don't really know how it's going to work, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, like, you're getting a drink and then, you look up and there's this thing staring at you, right?
This hairy eye just staring at you. Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know why I didn't put that on the list today, but I just thought that was pretty weird.
Well, and yeah, it does tie in with, you know, the droids leading people around, and I do like the fact that they're doing a photo op similar to the Sandcrawler Jawa scene. I mean, you know, this is all playing into everybody's fandom, right? Like it's so. They're not ignoring that people want the classic Star Wars stuff mixed in with the new generation, which I think is kind of nice. Like they can't ignore that stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're putting in stuff from the animated series too, right? I mean that stuff is showing up in Black Spire as well.
Like Rebels and stuff.
Yeah, Rebels. Yeah, I think there's a couple references to it in the land. I don't know because I haven't watched that show, but.
Oh my goodness!
I know you guys have, so you know.
Tom, no Space Mountain, no Rebels. Have you even seen Star Wars?
Yeah, I've seen, you know, several of them. I've seen all the Star Wars movies except for the prequels.
You know, when we're done here, I'm gonna go tell my wife that you don't know who Kanan is.
I don't know who that
and
is.
She's gonna get really mad.
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Damon knows who Kanan is.
I just sometimes Tom is perplexing. I mean, I don't even know what else to say, to be honest with you.
I like Star Wars, but it's not like my favorite thing in the world, so I wouldn't go out and like go and watch that show. It's not like I like Star Wars. It's just I'm not like a super fan of it. That's all. I mean, I feel like you have to be a huge Star Wars fan to watch the what is the show called? I forgot already.
Rebels.
Rebels probably one of the
now
best
I'm just messing with you
shows.
guys. Now I'm just messing with you guys. No, I don't know. I've never watched it, but I mean, I definitely, you know, can. I mean, if it sounds like it's worth watching, so.
No, don't watch it just because you feel like you have to. Just, you know, revel in your horribleness of Disney and just don't watch it.
All right, fair enough.
Own it, right? You gotta own it then.
All right.
All right. Do we want to move on here with the rest of the stuff that's going to be going on in Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Well, Tom thinks about his Star Wars life choices.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I'll tell you guys. I didn't even watch the original movies until maybe 10 years ago. So it might even be
stop
like
talking.
more
You're just
recent
digging
than
yourself in a bigger hole. You're making everyone upset, even our fans. They're going to start boycotting and not listening.
Not everybody likes Star Wars. I mean, I already said I'm going to get up at 6 a.m. to go to the land, man. So I got some commitment in here. I liked some of the newer movies a lot. So, you know.
Please just stop. just stop,
I can't.
Just stop. Yeah, please just stop.
This is my favorite. All right. So, all right. Let's talk about, did you see the cool stuff that they're doing with the Play app where, you know, that you're going to be able to like do like translation stuff and like, you know, make stuff happen.
It's very universal, very Harry Potter. I mean, that's what it reminds me of, which is cool. I mean, but that's what it is, except you're using your phone
instead of a wand.
Yeah, which, man, there's going to be like a tech place. Trevor, right? You feel the same way. Like, there's going to be a tech place. There's going to be problems. There's going to be all sorts of interesting issues.
Yeah, all the different types of phones
My iPhone
out there.
3 doesn't work? What do you mean?
Yeah, right?
My iPad 1? Like, it doesn't work? I don't understand.
I'm honestly getting worried because I've got a Galaxy S5 and...
Did you just say S5?
Yeah, it's an S5 because I haven't bothered to upgrade it in the last couple of years, and I know I'm going to feel the pain of that here at some point, but...
When they stop supporting it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it works. I haven't had a reason to go out and buy a new one since then, but this is a good reason why, because, you know, the Play Disney Park apps, I'm sure as it gets upgraded more and more, it'll hit a point where it just won't run on my phone.
That's probably going to be the case. You're like, my dad has an iPhone 4 and he just told me that he installed security cameras all around his house and he can't actually use the security cameras because the app won't download on his iPhone 4.
You see, my phone actually does run my security camera app.
Okay, there you go.
So it's a little bit better.
I was like, oh, time to upgrade. Yeah. You know, yeah, no, I think these are cool. You know, and you're right, Damon. I mean, like the wand thing is probably a little bit cooler of a delivery method, but this is probably, it makes sense for them to integrate it into the Play Parks app. I mean, it's already there.
Were you putting words in my mouth again, Tom?
That's what you said.
It was cooler.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it makes more sense because of what we're dealing with, right? Like in terms of, space technology, computers. I mean, I think it makes perfect sense.
Okay, fair enough. My bad.
What they need to do is they need to sell the little communicators that they use in Star Wars. But I don't know
the thumb communicators.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work though. But I mean, it could use the same technology as the wand, right? But then you just have the little thumb.
I think this will be pretty cool. But I just think there's going to be some technology glitches when, right, like you said, Trevor, you're supporting so many different phones and iOS is, you didn't upgrade to iOS 12. Sorry, it doesn't work. Like, I guess it's going to be so simplistic that we would hope, but gosh, I'll tell you something, like there's some apps that just stop being supported that I used to enjoy on my, older iPhone that no longer work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's.
I'm sure they have it figured out, and I'm sure there's also going to be, hey, only works on this, and this. You have to be at this level revision of phone and iOS or, Android, operating system or whatever the case may be. So, but I think it's a great idea. I think it will actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it's going to work in practice, and I know if you download the Disneyland version, you can already play with it, but obviously you can't see how it's going to react in the land until you're in the land and able to play with it, right? So,
it also helps get people out of the way, right? Like when we talk about eating people, right? At the end of the day, it's something that will definitely help with that sort of stuff as well, and doesn't necessarily create. Well, that's not even true. Sometimes there are bottlenecks at Universal for, doing the cool wand stuff, but they're never outrageous because you can always kind of come back to them throughout the day. So it's not so bad.
Yeah. And, same idea. Like we did the pirate adventure in Adventureland so they give you, or you scan your magic band and then they give you a map and you go around Adventureland, and it's the same kind of idea like you were saying, is it kind of gets you off into little corners and stuff like that, so it spreads people out a little bit more. But also, yeah, it was something that we actually ended up doing it over 2 or 3 days because there was different maps you could get and all that kind of stuff. I would expect this would be the same kind of thing, is that you go in, you start it up, you do some stuff, and then you kind of touch on it as you go. It's not like you're focusing on the app the whole time. Or if you are, I mean, it probably will lead you around the land. Yeah. But then I would expect it wouldn't take more than, an hour or a couple hours at most. But I wouldn't devote my entire experience to just looking at the Disney Parks app while I'm in there.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some push notifications involved, and it'll alert you to certain things, and it's interesting. It's like you're kind of talking about. It's like it's making the whole land a game, right? Because it's not just that you can push a button and something happens. It's you have to decode stuff, and there's a whole game around it, right? And so I think that's part of the cool part about this is the way they're doing this to make it so interactive, but also make it so it's not just, again, to go back to the Harry Potter thing, I've never been there, but from what I've seen, I believe you have to do a certain thing with the wand, right, to make things happen. It's not like you have to cast a certain spell or something. Damon, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, you just kind of got to move it around in a specific pattern, I believe.
Yeah, so it's not just you push a button and stuff happens. It's you actually have to do something specific, and so that's what I think this is good about this. Is there's a game aspect to it. So since we're about halfway through, I think we should take a second here and do our ad for our sponsor.
So this week we are sponsored by DVC Resale Market. They are the leader in the DVC resale industry with 11 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 2 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market with over 98% of listings sold within 30 days and nearly 3,000 contracts sold in 2018 alone. You can go to dvcresalemarket.com or call 1-844-DVC-PROS, which is 382-7767, and let them know that Welcome Home sent you. We're in contact with these guys all the time, and they love telling us when you guys come to them because you heard about them on the podcast. Again, that's dvcresalemarket.com or 1-844-DVC-PROS.
Awesome. Love DVC Resale Market. Wish I had a reason to talk to them even more because I was buying another contract, but
yeah,
we'll save that.
Buy more points.
Yeah. Not for now, but someday. But, please work with our friends over there. They're great. Nick and Derek and, all that team over there. They are fantastic. So
did I tell you guys I put in for my wait list over at Animal Kingdom?
You did?
Yeah, I don't know why, though. Well, I kind of do know why. So, again, we did Saratoga, and I feel like I put it in a little too late. I'm not feeling good about this one. This will probably be the first wait list I don't get, but I don't think I'm upset about that, which is why I may not get it, just the way that, my luck works. I really don't want it. What ended up happening is our friends are staying at Animal Kingdom for Thanksgiving, and they were all kind of bent out of shape that we were going to be at Saratoga. So I kind of did it more for them than truly for, feeling it in my heart. So if I don't
well,
get it,
hopefully they don't listen to the show then.
If they do, that's okay too. I mean, they know that it's more, again, I've still put it in because of them. So, I mean, they should be honored that I put it in because of them rather than not do it at all.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about it. Like, I was staying at Saratoga. So, I don't know if I'll get it, but we shall see. We shall see. I think I'll be lucky either way. If I get it, that would be lucky. And if I don't get it, I think that will still be lucky.
So my takeaway from this is that if you put in a wait list, you have to believe in your heart that you're going to get it.
Why is that?
Well,
you believe in magic.
Because like you said, if you're not really set on getting it, you won't get it.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. So for anyone else that's putting in a wait list, you got to believe in the Disney magic. And
the only thing is that I think I'm going to be like a little bent out of shape to like ruin my perfect record. Like that's the only downside of it is I'll be like, oh yeah, remember that one time I didn't get a wait list? Gosh.
Let's be honest, Damon, you're probably going to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm expecting in about July you're going to be like, yeah, I got my wait list.
Yeah, I got my wait list. Yeah, I'm staying in Animal Kingdom. Yeah, I got it. It's a one bedroom, right?
Yeah.
One bedrooms are usually the easiest ones to get, so.
Yeah, but remember, it's also Thanksgiving.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Yeah, and post Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, post Star Wars, Thanksgiving, like I said. I mean, I could have put it in earlier, but I was like, whatever.
You got a lot working against you on that one.
I do, that's for sure.
All right, well, you want to talk more Star Wars?
Yeah,
more.
Sure.
Let's
more.
Gosh, are we already an hour in, though?
I know, we were like blowing through stuff here, but
we got to go quick here.
We do, and we don't have to talk about this one a lot. I just thought this one was kind of cool. The BB-8 headband that talks and interacts with the land.
Why?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. I just thought the idea of walking around with BB-8 on your head beeping and booping as you walk around is hilarious.
But
it's not. It's not.
All right, fair enough.
I mean, yeah, this one to me, like, yeah. Well, you know what? It's kind of like the Pandora. What's it called? So what are those?
The Banshee that
you
wear on your shoulder. Yeah.
For like one day, and then you go, oh, really?
Yeah. Well, so
like,
many things are like that.
I don't need to hear this beeping and booping as I walk next to 300 of them either.
That's fair. Let's hope it's not like super loud.
Even further than that, though, they've actually got the little shoulder thing in Galaxy's Edge as well. It's it's one of those little Muppet guys from Jabba's palace.
Well, that's cool because anything Jabba is cool.
Yeah, but
does Tom even know who that is?
Yeah, of course I've seen the movies. Like, I know.
You have?
Yeah,
you have. What's the dude's name?
What, Jabba the Hutt? Yeah, I know who that is. The big like drooly dude. That,
he's talking the little crazy laughing guy.
I don't know what that thing that has a name. It's just a furry laughing animal thing. Yeah,
yes,
what do you mean does it have a name?
Why would I know what the name is of that thing? It's a Muppet. I mean, it's what's the name of it? What's it called?
Is it like Crumb? Is right? It's Salacious Crumb or something.
All right.
Sounds close, yeah.
Okay.
Don't give me a hard time if you guys don't even know the actual name. I don't want to hear it.
Well, I just said what I believe his name would be.
All right. Well, people can write
someone
us in.
fact check that.
Yeah, fact check that and write us in. Okay.
I mean, he was one of the coolest Muppets
he's pretty cool.
The whole entire show. Like how
he's got like the really funny laugh though too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just like I remember him. Yeah, I remember.
You guys are a kin, right? Isn't that what people say that you got that You have the laugh of Jabba's pet right there. Come on.
His is a little more cackling. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a little more cackling.
Yeah, I mean, you know. Let's talk lightsabers. Like, we talked about lightsabers because we talked about these before, but now we know how much they're going to cost and how cool they're going to be.
So this is, I was thinking like Harry Potter wand kind of.
Yeah,
ballpark.
Of course.
This is something else, though.
Oh yeah, it's definitely at a different level. But again, you know what it does? It limits the amount of people that are going to be doing it. Maybe.
True.
maybe. Right? Like,
that's a maybe.
Let's pretend for a second that there isn't a crazy fandom around Star Wars.
but you know what it does do, though? I'll be honest with you. So if you were to tell me that it was Harry Potter, I forgot what Harry Potter is. Is it like 30 to 60, 30, 70? I don't remember.
Something
Maybe
like
30
that.
to 100. Whatever the case may be, it's well below this, right?
Oh, we didn't say how much it is. It's $200, $199 plus tax.
Right. So for me, this is not a go do. Right. Like, this would be if one of my kids was really into Star Wars, then I would consider it. But they're not. So this is not a do for the experience at that price point for me.
Yeah,
and aren't they plastic too? Isn't that what kind of one of the other knocks on it is?
No, these are metal. These are metal.
Yeah, these are the actual metal ones. And I think the thing with this is that it's not just the cost of the lightsaber, right? It's the whole, like...
It's the experience, for sure.
There's like a ritual around it, you know, picking your kyber crystal and parts and all that kind of stuff, right? Which I guess the funny thing is like, I think, Damon, you and I are thinking of the plastic ones where, you know, they've just got like, you know, everything in a bin and you just kind of pick the pieces and put it together and then you end up with a plastic lightsaber at the end. I hope, or I feel that this will go down a lot differently. And again, like you said, because of the fact that it's going to be a limited amount of people doing it, like, it's not like it's just something that happens. It's like you go in, like the wand ceremony, right? Is that, you know, they only allow a small group in to do it and all that.
From what I've read about this, though, too, it seems like these are really high quality. Like the actual hilt is metal. And that
but the blade is plastic.
Yeah, but they're saying it's like a high quality, like I think I read it was like a high quality like resin. Somebody wrote on there that you could legit have lightsaber fights with these and not have them break. Like, they are like solid, you know. And and they look a lot better than those telescoping ones, you know, that they used to have.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I mean, for the price, I would think, but. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I read. Apparently, they're heavy and they have a lot of heft to them. Like, they feel real from what all the reviews.
Is that good or bad, though?
I mean,
right?
Good for quality, bad for injuries, I guess.
I mean,
actually, so that's nice that you can just take the blades right out too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that would be, you know, this would be something I would buy with the intent of it would be sitting on a mantle.
Well, Tom would probably go out and play with his and get it all jacked up and drop it a few times.
Yeah, get scratches on it, you know, just beat it up.
When the kids have the lightsaber fights on the neighborhood, I'll go out there with the real one, you know.
Yeah.
you know what I'll do? I'll use it to chase kids off my lawn when they're in my backyard. I'll pull out my lightsaber and go, "Get off my lawn," with my lightsaber in it.
Wearing your Jedi bathrobe.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in my bathrobe and I'm running after them, you know. But $200, I mean,
and there's 14 people at a time, and they can bring one family member or a friend, right, to take photos or do whatever.
Is that what it says?
Yep.
Oh wow. Well, that's.
Where did it say 14 people?
Yeah, where are you reading this?
I'm reading that on the. Let's see, what website is this? The Orlando Informer.
Well, okay. I didn't realize
there's only
people.
several times a day too. So I mean, you're not talking like a lot of people.
Well, and Disney is warning people that they might have to make a reservation. They haven't said yet, but that reservations might be required at some point depending on demand. My guess is you're going to need a reservation. I feel like there's going to, even though at the $200 price point, people will buy these.
Oh, especially in the beginning, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think these are kind of cool. I think they're interesting. I mean, like I said, I'm not enough of a fanboy that I would buy one, but I know there's lots that will. So, Trevor, you gonna get one? You gonna pick one up?
No
AP or DVC discount, by the way. They made it clear, no AP or DVC discount.
Yeah. So, as much as like my son is into, or I shouldn't say my son, like as a family, we're very into Star Wars and we enjoy it. But I think this is passing the threshold even for us. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm highly doubting it.
Speaking of merch, I love this article.
Yeah. Let's go from crazy to ridiculous.
Yeah, the most expensive the most expensive merchandise you can buy at Galaxy's Edge is $25,000. So, what does $25,000 get you? It's well, this one. What is it? It's a full-on R2D2, right? It's a replica R2 droid that its head moves, the beeps, lights up. It's a pretty much complete replica of R2D2, right?
So we should actually clarify that. It's not just a replica of R2D2. It's an R2 droid. So you can customize this droid to be whatever kind of R2 droid you want it to be.
Fair enough.
Not just R2D2. That's
a fair point.
Yeah, I mean that's quite the thing.
So how much? I mean,
you don't know who R2D2 is? You need us to explain that to you too.
No, I know who R2D2 is.
Okay, so making sure. I didn't want you to get confused.
Yeah, R2D2 is that BB-8 knockoff, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
There you go.
That's right. I hate you both. The podcast is ending. Here's my question to you guys: how many people are going to buy these?
Well, not a lot of people, but again, like as a lot of people are saying, it's another experience, right? That just so happens to have the ability to purchase it. But I think that the experience is there because you know what? There will be a few people. There might be companies too. You know what I mean? Like again, we think, single person, right? Of course, there's rich people that could definitely purchase it. But again, sometimes companies purchase these things as well, right? If you're burning through your feeder money from an investor, right? Maybe you need an R2 droid. Who knows? But I mean, I think they'll sell enough of them, but I don't think that's the point, right? But I think that it's nice that there is the ability to sell them because people will ask. So overall, I think it's a good thing.
I agree. I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's because they've sold stuff like this in the before, but it's never been like a full on, like pretty much real as it gets replica where the head moves, it's made of metal, it beeps and all sorts of stuff. I think it's cool.
Yeah, this is like on the same level as, like they said, compare it to like what you see at like Comic Cons, like people that build these crazy animatronic ones that they take to those Comic Cons that like those are, there's a ton of time and money that goes into those. This is the same kind of thing, but it's just, Disney doing it for you.
Disney stamp of approval on it, licensing and all that. I did want to point out though too, this same article also mentions that you can buy a complete replica First Order Stormtrooper armor set for $6,600. And also,
I'd be more inclined to purchase that, to be honest with you.
What's that? You'd be more inclined to purchase that? I think it's pretty. That's pretty cool too.
I'm going after Halloween, so yeah.
And also, you could buy a Kylo Ren mask for $750. So,
I'm least excited about that.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to have a legit Stormtrooper outfit. I mean, that would be kind of cool.
And even First Order Stormtroopers, because the armor style is a little bit different. I would still take that over the Kylo Ren mask, and I'm sure somebody's going to get mad at me for saying that.
I would agree with you, Trevor.
Yeah,
I'm on board with that.
I don't like the Kylo Ren mask at all. Honestly, I'm not even really a big fan of Kylo Ren to begin with.
I would agree with you as well.
Yeah.
Who's Kylo Ren?
Yeah, exactly.
Kidding. All right. But I don't know. I think this is neat that they're offering this and that it's remote control. And by the way, also that $25,000, once again, no DVC discount, no AP discount, does not include tax, does not include shipping.
So yeah, let's just make this clear. Everything at Galaxy's Edge, I think, is off the table for DVC and AP.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
For the time being.
Yeah,
for the time being.
Yeah.
Maybe someday we'll get a discount.
And Tom, you missed mentioning the better thing that people should be looking at instead of Kylo Ren's mask is that you can get Poe Dameron's helmet for $650.
For $650. That's cool.
Yeah. I would be more interested.
Intrigues me a little bit. That does intrigue me a little bit.
Well, here's the question though. They're calling it a collectible replica. If you're going to buy it for $650, I mean, are you going to put it on your head at some point, or
never? That's sacrilege.
Again, it would be on a mantle, sitting there all nice, and
no one would be able to touch it, and that would be that.
You just have to look at it. Yeah,
that's the things. That's what you're supposed to do.
I don't know.
Again, this is going to be interesting, Tom, because as I start my YouTube channel, which is again all my toys from growing up, as I've been working in my new house, I've been looking at my Transformers that never saw the light of day, my G.I. Joe figures, and my Star Wars figures still in blister packs from my original purchases in the 70s. So, yeah, That's how I did it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. I mean, I think these are cool things. So, I mean, if you're going to, Damon, let us know if you decide to buy Poe Dameron's helmet. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
I don't think I will, but I mean, if I had my choice of what I was going to purchase, that would be kind of cool.
Even more than the $200 lightsaber, you'd go?
Oh, yeah. I think that I'm not the lightsaber, I don't want that. I want the helmet, right? Like, it comes down to the helmet or the lightsaber. Yeah, I definitely get the helmet.
Nice.
Yeah,
I tried to make the Imperial TIE Fighter helmet for Halloween out of a motorcycle helmet one time when I was younger. It did not turn out all that well, but I gave it my best shot.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
You appreciate the skill that a lot of these cosplayers put into building some of these costumes when you see the work.
Much
that goes
respect
into it.
for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I think that's all of our Star Wars stuff, unless you guys want to mention anything else. I mean, it's opening this week, so I'm sure there's going to be more stuff that comes up that they
and
haven't.
Isn't it a shame
told
that
people
none
about.
of us will even be there? Like, I mean, just
I know.
it's a shame.
It is.
Yeah,
It's sad.
but
Can we get? You know what we need to do for next episode? Wait, is that the next episode's episode? You're not here, Tom?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So
man,
we can.
Wait,
I mean,
so this is what we need to do, though. We need to find out. Listen, we're going to put out the call right now. If you're going, we want you on the show. It's going to be. We're going to film it. We're going to record it a day later than normal, since Tom will be away. So it's going to be recorded Monday, released on Tuesday instead of a normal Monday release.
Yep.
But we would really like somebody that's been there in that week to come on the show.
yeah, that's a great idea, Damon. So if any of our listeners, and I guarantee we have at least one listener out there that is going, somebody's going in our listener group, circle. Yeah, what do you want to call them?
We need a cool nickname for them.
I remember
our welcome homies.
Yeah, that was early on. Somebody suggested, that was like episode 5. Somebody suggested welcome homies.
I still like homies. I do think our homies should help us out.
So if you're going and you hear this right now, send us an email. We will get you on the next episode and interview you about the opening.
As long as you have a halfway decent internet connection.
Have a decent internet connection and are not boring. That's another thing we need you to be. We don't.
No, I'll take somebody boring that's been there. I'll be honest with you.
And also, we have to keep in mind that this is going to be, the Disneyland opening, and it's going to be actually it'll be crazy. But I think that with the reservations, that won't be necessarily representative of what we see in Florida either.
Yeah,
I'm interested. I'm
Yeah,
interested to see what's going to happen.
We want to hear.
We talk food now, though. I want to talk food now. I always like talking about food.
I figured you'd be excited about this one, Damon. So I'm going to let you do this one.
I like this one too.
I don't even know how to pronounce it though. So there's going to be a new restaurant.
That's why I was letting you do it, because I don't want to have to pronounce it.
Wait, is it
Takumi Te?
Takumi Te?
Yeah. Okay, like the Kumite. No, okay. Hold on. Different movie. Tom's probably never seen that one either.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what.
Please tell me you really don't know what I'm talking about.
What is that a reference to?
Kumite?
Yeah.
Trevor?
I'm drawing a blank. No, it's not just you.
Bloodsport?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so this means...
It was a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. I don't remember.
Total classic movie. Anyway, so this means House of the Artisan. The design celebrates the relationship between Japanese craftsmanship and the natural world, while the food is inspired by the wonderful collaboration between nature and Takumi, the artisan. It's going to be an upscale dinner menu, right? So it's going to have Wagyu beef, which, again, I don't eat beef, but that sounds very nice. And it sounds like it's going to be a great setting. And, of course, there's going to be sake and some wine and craft beer and all that good stuff that I don't partake in really anyway. But there'll be a traditional tea service, and I do love me some tea. So I think this is going to be interesting. Again, I think it's something that doesn't necessarily, from the standpoint of food really or drink, really hit what I do. But I think that my family would really enjoy it, so I think it would be someplace we would want to try.
Yeah, and
It looks cool.
It looks really. I mean, the concept art that's out there, and we'll post pictures on the Facebook page. But the concept art looks really cool. It looks really very like serene and like it just.
Is that like an epoxy river? You think on that table?
That's on this table in this rendering, it looks like You always see like a Facebook videos about how people make these epoxy like little rivers and tables and stuff like that. And there's a waterfall in the background, and
Yeah, it looks really cool though.
yeah,
I would do this place.
What's interesting to me, though, I've seen some construction photos of this. They built like nothing. They've built nothing of this, and they're saying it's going to open this summer, which, I mean, summer's, the end of summer's far off still, but, I mean, it seems like there's nothing ready, so... And this is in the Japan Pavilion, by the way. We should probably mention that, but...
Yeah, I think, well, to me, the name gives it away, but...
I mean, it could be in the China Pavilion. I know some people might not know which one it is. So,
yeah, but I mean, as far as the aesthetic goes and everything, it's it looks very traditional Japanese. Yeah, I think it would be great, but unfortunately, I'm on the other side of this, where I'm the only one in my family that gets adventurous with Asian cuisines. So, I will probably never get a chance to eat here because my wife and son will be like, no.
I'm with you, except I'm the one that would be like, no. My wife would be like, yes, because my wife eats anything, and I don't necessarily eat anything. And it seems like it's going to be centered a lot around it doesn't say that it's going to be like a Japanese steakhouse, but it definitely seems it's going to be around the Wagyu beef and and some of those types of things. So I don't know. I don't know if I'll go there. I'd have to see the menu first. I'm more excited about the space restaurant that's coming to Epcot by the end of the year, because they're saying that's going to open this year. I'm excited about that one. Get me there.
I thought it would be longer than that. I'm surprised that they announced it was going to be this year.
Yeah, but I mean, this year could mean like December, 30th. I mean,
But okay, let's be honest. When have you ever known them to open something new during the holiday season?
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably more like, maybe October or November. I was hoping it was going to be open by the time I go in October, because I would love to go there. It looks amazing. Damon, have you seen that one? That one looks so cool to me.
Which one?
The space restaurant that they're building next to Mission Space.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't do anything for you?
No. I mean, it sounds cool, but nah. Do you know why? Because it's quick serve, right?
No, it's table service.
Table service, like real deal food?
Yeah. Like you take like an elevator, like they're gonna like simulate that you're going up to space in like an elevator, and
maybe.
then you're
the
surrounded
menu.
by screens, and it looks like you're in space the whole time.
Yeah, I knew about that. I just didn't know about the menu. If the menu looks like, I mean, is it just regular old food?
They haven't done the menu for it yet.
That's the problem. I mean, if it has some sort of menu theme to it, I'd be interested. But if it's just like regular old food, nah.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
They're gonna sell all the freeze dried stuff in the gift shop outside Mission Space.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Tang dish somewhere in there.
I'm down for that.
Tang ice cream. I'm gonna call it right now. All right, that's my
Tang
prediction.
freeze dried Tang ice cream.
Yeah, I would try
freeze dried or regular.
I mean,
it'll be freeze dried.
Yeah, it would have to be freeze dried.
Yeah.
I mean, as a real dessert, like I don't know.
It should come in
the gift shop, maybe.
It should come in like a little like cellophane packet that you have to like squeeze it onto your plate with.
That authentic experience.
Yeah, for the real authentic space experience.
Yeah.
Wait, do we still have like 5 things to talk about?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Really, let's go. Come on.
Okay.
Well, this one I thought was relevant to you though, Damon, because they announced a whole bunch of new holiday decorations for Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good until I'm there. I'll let you know how it is. Great.
All right. But has there ever
Damon
been
knows how to
stuff
move through our schedule quickly here.
Has there ever been stuff in Animal Kingdom for the holidays? I don't know if I've ever really heard of that being a big place for Christmas type stuff.
Yes, but not like this. Like,
Okay.
so they're really...
First of all, it's a celebration of winter. Let's make sure that we get it right. It's not Christmas.
That's right, it's holidays.
Oh,
That's right.
solstice.
Yes,
Okay.
holidays, yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's holiday decor, but so they're gonna do special things on the Tree of Life. They're actually gonna do stuff in Avatar in a Pandora, so that's kind of cool too.
I mean, snow-covered banshees, like
Christmas in Pandora. Okay.
Remember, it's not Christmas.
Right.
Celebration.
Well, no, because it says that the expats living and working on the moon of Pandora will bring a little Christmas to their alien home. So
yeah, we'll see.
kitschy holiday decor, which I kind of want to see that.
I'll let you know how it is. Wait, Trevor, when are you going again?
We go November 16th is when we're there.
Oh, so you're there right before the decorations.
No.
Or the decorations up. They're there?
They'll be up
They'll start like November 1st, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so
we
might actually have to hold out until we're both back. Because otherwise it's going to be really boring for our listeners.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I'll get other people on the show that are interesting.
No. It has nothing to do with that. We'll be talking about the same thing.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So it might make sense to actually have an episode.
I thought you were just calling me boring. That's what I thought.
No. That's what I was saying.
That's what I
mean.
assumed.
If I was, I would tell you point blank. There would be no question about it.
That's
But
fair.
no, that's not it. I just thought that maybe it might make sense for us to do that together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think we'll both have our own takes on how things go.
I think it would make for a good episode.
Yeah,
rather than two of the same episode.
Yeah, that's
especially since
true.
I'm second. I don't like second billing like that. No, I joke. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
All right, next.
Yeah. The new photo passes.
This is cool.
I like
it's
this
so cool,
too.
right?
Yeah.
I'm so excited about trying this out when I go.
Wow, we all agree that this is okay. I don't
Super
think
cool.
I can't think of the last time that we were all actually excited about something like this.
Yeah, this is super zoom. Like, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Well, so anybody that hasn't seen this, basically what this is like there's a spot that you stand at, and I'm assuming there's a cast member that somehow triggers this, or they tell you to go to the spot, and they go ahead. Sorry,
I was going to say I think what it is that I think there's a photographer there taking a photo, but the PhotoPass photographer is doing it in such a way that it lines up for the zoom as well.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is it's a video. It's like a 20-second video. And basically there's a zoom out where you see the castle and everything that's going on. And then they zoom in really close to where you are and they zoom back out again. So like it's cool because you can see the castle and like all the people that are there and what the day is like. And then you get a close-up view of you.
I think that's awesome.
It's just so cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you, like you said, you can only capture so much in a photo, and having that ultra wide zoom. Like, I hope that the picture that they were showing as the example was just in front of the castle. I feel this should be at like every park. Like,
they could do it from so many places.
Yeah. Like this should be a thing that should expand around the park, and I hope it really does.
It'd be great in Hollywood Studios right in front of the Chinese theater. Like,
Yeah.
that would be a great spot, right?
And again, with the Tree of Life in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and I mean, Epcot, right? I mean, it would be great in all these places.
Oh.
There's so many cool things they could do with this.
Could you imagine if they had you like standing in front of World Showcase, but then they could zoom it out so you could see World Showcase and Spaceship Earth?
That would be cool.
Like, wow, that would be amazing.
That would be really cool. I like that they're doing fun stuff with the PhotoPass these days. Like, they're really adding a lot of things on. And we talked about this a couple episodes. Trevor, you and I did. I think Damon was out that one. But
Yeah.
I think it's funny they're doing all this, but we still don't have a PhotoPass for Big Thunder. But that's besides the point. But no, I just think this is so cool. And they released a couple other ones too with like Mickey and Anna and Elsa, but nowhere near as cool as the Zoom one. That one is just really cool. So
and the other thing to point out too is that this is free. This is included with PhotoPass / Memory Maker. It's not like it's an extra bill on top, which I think that's really cool. I think it's nice that, they're just including this with the existing stuff instead of saying, we've got PhotoPass and here's your Zoom one for an extra $9.95 or whatever. Like,
here's an upcharge.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's awesome.
I do too. We shared this on our Facebook when they first announced it. So if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a Facebook page out there about it. So if you don't like us on Facebook, then go and like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have so many more listeners than we have Facebook.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't know why we don't have more people liking us on Facebook. I think people are just not Facebook anymore. Right?
Well, yeah, I guess if you don't use Facebook, that's okay too. But
no, I get it. I mean, it's understandable. We're just glad you guys listen. If you don't follow us on Facebook, that's okay. But we did post this, so go check it out. If you haven't seen it, it's really, really neat. And I'm excited to do it when I'm there. And we'll see if I decide to actually share it with everybody or not. I may. We'll see.
nighttime photos as well for that would be pretty awesome.
Oh, are they doing it at night?
I don't know, but I'm hoping that
I haven't seen an example at night. So yeah, you're right though. That would be really cool with all the lights and everything. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Now I got to do that at night.
Yeah, we'll have to find out if you can do it or not. So yeah, you got some homework, Tom. You got to find out.
Stay tuned, everyone, until I forget completely that I was supposed to do it, and then everyone asks me later, and I don't remember. So, Damon, you could take a nap for a few here while we talk about Disneyland really quick. Unless there's anything else we want to talk about with the photo pass here. No.
Nope.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little Disneyland real quick. Well, actually, you know what, Damon? This might interest you a little bit.
No, it doesn't. I'm already clicking mute. Sorry.
Well, they're bringing back Soarin' Over California to California Adventure. I wish they would do this at Disney World too.
I'm not feeling it.
Really? You don't? Yeah. You're not? You know?
I still, I've done both, and the new one is just better, and I feel that there's a bit of rose-colored glasses here with Soarin' Over California, and I mean, I know it makes sense in California, and you know them doing it in California Adventure, yeah, absolutely, because that's where it originated. But I feel that it kind of like, I hate to say it, but this to me is kind of on the same level as Captain EO, where I loved Captain EO. And then I went and I saw it like before they took it out. And then I was like, that was a lot better in my memory.
You mean the short film where Michael Jackson saves the universe through dancing and music?
Yeah, with Muppets.
Oh, I love Captain EO so much.
Yes, it was so good, but it's with the 3D glasses and everything.
Yeah, and the floor shaking and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I just feel that with Soarin', it's going to be the same kind of thing where, you know, people remember how it was, but I mean the new HD one. Once you're used to that, and then you go back to the older footage, you really start picking it apart, and you go, oh, you know, it doesn't look as clean, it doesn't look as good as it could.
You know what though? But there are a lot of people that prefer the old ones still. You know, you see some people out there that will say, well, I prefer the original Soarin'. I don't like the CGI that's in the new one. I don't like that there's, you know, they CGI'd some animals in. I miss the orange scent, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But yeah, I don't know. I feel the longer we go along with it, though, especially with something like this, because it is heavily reliant on the video. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not feeling it.
I'll tell you what. So I don't think that they should in Disney World make the whole thing. And this is only for a month, by the way. They're just doing this June 1st to June 30th. And a lot of people are seeing right through this as like, oh, hey, look over here, guys. Don't look at Star Wars. Look, we're doing a classic thing. Come over and go on Sora, forget Star Wars for a second. Like, that's got to be what it is, right?
We need a way to get people out of Disneyland and into California Adventure.
That's exactly right? You got to have some sort of gimmick, and this is the gimmick, right? So, but I guess what my point is, you have several theaters over at Epcot, right? So give people a choice. Be like, hey, you want to go on Soarin' Over California? You know, you go into this line. You know, you want to go to the new one? You go to this one. I don't know. I just think some people would check out the old one. I'd look at the old one every once in a while. You know, I'd still do the new one most of the time, but then every once in a while, I'd, you know, want to check out the classic one too. But I get what you're saying. You're totally right. The old movie was, before they updated it, was really badly out of date as far as, you know, video standards go, right? So
yeah,
and you'll definitely notice a huge difference between the new one and the old one if you watch them back to back, for sure. So you know, but you're right. There's a lot of you know. I feel like it's the same thing with Wishes, right? Wishes was the greatest show ever, and then, you know, Happily Ever After comes along, and it's, you know, so much technically better, and there's so much other cool stuff that's going on in it, but everybody remembers Wishes in this way that's, you know, that it's like the greatest show ever, right? And that's how it goes with these things. We remember things differently. We romanticize things, right? So
yeah, and I guess that's my only take on it. Is, you know, I'm not bashing on Soarin' Over California as being a bad ride or a bad video. It's just I guess I'm a little more aware of, you know, looking at things through rose-colored glasses now, right? I want to enjoy the new stuff, and I also don't want to, you know, I don't want to corrupt my memory of the old one either. I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So, and we don't have to talk about this for long. But the new paint scheme on Sleeping Beauty Castle, I think it looks cool. I like it.
I think it's awesome. I think it was way overdue.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. I really thought there was going to be some internet outcry about this one. Like, I thought people were going to freak out about the bold colors that they painted it, but seems like everybody likes it.
Well, no, it should be bold colors. It absolutely should be, because it's based on an animated feature film, and why wouldn't you have it be the most colorful thing in the park?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But, and I don't know if either of you guys read this, but there was a really great article about the castle. I think it was in like the LA Times, I want to say. But it was an article about, there's a woman who's, and I'm sorry, I don't have her name, but you could Google this, like just Google, the castle in Disneyland. And basically there's a woman whose job at Disneyland is basically just like preserve the original charm of Disneyland. Like, her whole job is basically like, this is the way things are done at Disneyland. We're not going to screw that up. Like, and constantly trying. Did you read that article, Trevor? It was a good one. It was really interesting. If you haven't, check it out and you like Disneyland. But
yeah, you'll have to. I might have. You'll have to send it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting. This woman's been an Imagineer for a really long time, and she was like help open the Imagineering office there, and like she's basically was in charge of this redo, and like a lot of her job is preserving the history of Disneyland without
just consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Like when anytime they make a change, they consult her, and they're like, hey, can we do this thing? Is it gonna hurt the original vision of Disneyland? And I just think that's a neat job. Like that's that person's job. It was a really good article. So
I wouldn't want that job either. That would be a very
it's
hard
totally
thing.
Terrifying. Yeah, totally terrifying. But so she was responsible for this castle thing, and she talks about too. It's interesting. She talked about oh gosh, there was something that they did. I wish I remember what it was in the article. There was some change that she made that fans absolutely hated and were like destroying Disneyland on the internet. And she was talking about how much like it really hurt her. Like deep down it hurt her, because she worked so hard on it, and like I think
she thought it was the right thing to do, and
exactly. Yeah. And the people just rebelled. I wish I remember what it was. It was some change that they made, and people just absolutely hated it and were so angry about it. And she took ownership and felt so bad about it, and it just reminded me, that like Imagineers, like we like to trash them, trash Disney sometimes for doing certain things, making certain decisions, building certain rides in certain ways. But these are people doing this, people that actually care about what they're doing, and it just is sad, when we trash what they've done. Obviously people put hard work into all these things, and so it's it was just a reminder to me that these are people. So
yeah, and I guess the flip side of that is Sleeping Beauty definitely needed that update. An example of how not to update the castle would be the birthday cake thing they did.
Yeah, I was going to say the birthday cake. Yeah,
which I'm sorry, there's probably an Imagineer out there that was involved in that is hurt because they thought it was a great idea, but. I mean,
who thought it was a good idea to paint a Pepto-Bismol pink, though? I mean, it was like, was really...
It's birthday cake color. Like, it was supposed to be like pink birthday cake, I guess, but
some people don't like... You remember when they did... And I went to the parks this year. I think it was in 1999 when they put Year 2000 over top of Spaceship Earth and Epcot. Anybody remember that? It was
the hand with
the big giant one? Mickey hand, and it said 2000.
I actually have an ornament of that. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a picture of me on a family vacation in front of Spaceship Earth with that, and I was thinking to myself, some people hate that one, and I was like, I thought that one was kind of cool, but I get it.
Yeah,
I
or
get
the
why
hat
people hate
in
stuff.
front of MGM or Hollywood Studios. Yeah,
I actually kind of don't throw hate at me for this, but I was kind of glad they took that away. I like the unobstructed view of the theater. I think it's a better experience to me when you walk in and you just see the whole park that way. But I mean, I know a lot of people disagree about that one, but
yeah.
But anyway, so we're on the rumor part, Damon, and I don't know if you're gonna object to this just out of the fact that it has to do with Stitch. and getting rid of Stitch, which is, been dead and not dead, back and forth for a while. It's gone.
Stitch
now.
is gone. Yeah.
Stitch is gone.
Stitch sucked anyway. It was, when it was Alien, it was the best. So.
Agreed.
Well, and now Disney owns the Alien franchise, so, some people are calling for them to bring that thing back. So,
could you imagine? That would be the best.
They would have to do it at Hollywood Studios, though. I think the biggest problem with that ride always was that it was in Magic Kingdom. Like, why is it in Magic Kingdom? Put it in Hollywood Studios.
It was such a trap. And yeah, going back to what we were talking about earlier of, traumatizing your kids, like there's a great example of...
You could take my 1-year-old on that one.
Yeah.
So we've been talking for a while about a replacement for Stitch, and there's been a rumor for a while that Disney's developing a Wreck-It Ralph ride, show, whatever you want to call this, for Stitch's Great Escape. And so what this rumor is, and this is from WDWNT, where we get a lot of our stuff, basically what they're saying is the Wreck-It Ralph attraction would reuse the existing theaters in the round for Stitch's Great Escape, but would attach video game style controllers to every guest seat. With these controllers, guests would somehow play an interactive role in the show. They're video game characters, so obviously this makes sense, but how it would all work is unknown at this time. So my question to you guys, and they're saying, by the way, if everything goes according to plan, this attraction would be opening in 2022, a year after Tron would open. So my question to you guys is, what would you want this ride to look like or show? I don't even know what you would call it, right? Would you call it a ride or traction? I don't know. What would you want it to look like? What could you be doing as a group with controllers? I don't know. You guys are the big game guys. I'm a game guy too.
Yeah.
As much as you guys.
So yeah, the thing is, if you're talking a large group, really the game part of it, unless you're going to have an individual screen doing something, it basically just turns into like, I would think it would almost be like a voting system or something.
How cool would it be if they could get? I mean, well, think about it. I mean, you don't think everyone's going to have their own screen?
Not necessarily at each chair.
I don't know. Maybe.
It could be like a Fortnite thing, right? Where you're talking about some sort of open-ended world with hundreds of people.
Oh yeah, like a 1 versus 100 kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking more in the vein of like Sugar Rush, Mario Kart type of thing. Like,
I mean, that would be like, from a technology standpoint,
super hard to pull off.
Yeah. I mean, that would be interesting because you're talking
a game.
Well, it'd be like playing Fortnite where everyone's in the same spot, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
But again, it just depends how much money they're putting into it, right? It's possible.
But I mean, even if you're talking Fortnite, like Fortnite, you're able to do 100 people in a single match over the internet. If they had that, localized just to the one room, assuming that they had the proper infrastructure.
But you still got
to
draw it all.
Yeah.
Right? Like, at the end of the day, right? Like, I don't think the big issue with Fortnite is the latency, but it's a lot more of drawing all those things at once on a screen.
Yeah, you would have to have individual consoles doing processing, right? So that would mean having, like 100 Xbox type systems all hooked up together.
So I just looked this up, and each theater holds 162 people.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be anything technologically advanced, though. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be gimmicky.
Have you guys seen Wreck-It Ralph 2 yet?
Yeah, I have.
Bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm thinking of there was the part where they were trying to get likes in the movie. Like it was like a YouTube / Facebook thing, and they were trying to get as many likes as they could. I feel like it would be something like that, where maybe it's like they
Why
have.
Why do I need a
people...
controller rather than buttons, though?
Well, the only thought is that maybe that goes further, that everybody votes, and then maybe they single out a couple of people during the show, kind of like how you get the Rebel in Star Tours. So then those people play a mini game or something like that.
That would be an interesting thought.
Yeah.
So like even if it was like let's say a Mario Kart, and then they pull 8 people out of the 160 to race, and each person has a team.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
What if it's...
And then other people are kind of boosting the person, like everybody on the same team is doing stuff to help the leader or whatever. Yeah.
whoever their person is that they're racing, racing for them. That might be interesting. Maybe they could throw oil slicks and stuff.
Yeah. As a gamer, that would infuriate me though if I wasn't the one driving.
Kind of like what Damon's been talking about with the Millennium Falcon ride.
When you play games enough and you can see people making mistakes and you just want to be like, no, just don't.
Just don't do that. Just stop doing that. Well, what if they did it like a collaborative thing? Because that theater's in sections, right? So what if it was like, I was thinking like the games that are played outside of when you leave mission space, where they have like a couple different teams that are working together to race another team. So like everybody has like different tasks that they have to do. You know what I'm talking about? Have you guys ever done that?
A couple times. Yeah.
I mean, it could be something like that too. I mean, I don't know. They could go a lot of different ways with this, but I think it's an interesting concept, and that's valuable real estate. I mean, I really hope they use it somehow. But I also think to myself, how does Wreck-It Ralph fit in with Tomorrowland? It doesn't. So I don't know.
It kind of does.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, Wreck-It Ralph. It talks about retro, but it also does look at the future and how things have changed, and that's kind of really the overarching theme of the show.
Well, and I guess if you're talking about where they're putting Tron in Tomorrowland too, I mean, I guess I could see that.
Yeah, computers and technology do kind of fall hand in hand with future and progress and all that.
It's got to be something more than just playing a video game, though, right? I mean, like, who wants to go to Disney just to play a video game? I mean, that's not what we're looking to do, right? So, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be something more than that.
Well, I mean, you're going to the Void.
Yeah, it's true.
Shut up, Trevor.
Yeah, I've already been there like 3 times, so.
Yeah, no, whatever, okay? That's not the whole reason I'm going to Disney. All right. You know what? You're right. That's a fair point.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't discount it as, I think, I hope it's something, I hope it's not just, pushing a button. I hope that there is more of a level of interactivity to it. Something else I just thought of too, is that, they could actually do, you were talking about, how do you do the different screens and all that? Maybe there's something with polarized glasses they could do, so like everybody's kind of seeing a different, not like individual screens, but like maybe each group is seeing a different screen based on the like you said, split it up by sections, and then those glasses go with that group. Because then it's like, you like one side of the room is seeing one screen, the other side of the room is seeing another screen. You can't actually like screen cheat because the polarized glasses mean you only see the one screen that you're supposed to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think this is an interesting rumor. I'm interested to see what they decide to do. Because I mean, obviously we're going to hear, if it's going to open in a couple of years here, in 3 years, we're going to hear something about it soon. Maybe at D23 or,
The only thing that really upsets me about this is that that's been a good place to go and meet Stitch, which my son always loves meeting Stitch. And I'll be sad if they stop doing the Stitch meet and greet because of this.
Maybe they could put it somewhere else, right? I mean, they can move it.
Yeah, I would hope that they would move it and not just, stop having Stitch in a meet and greet, because, again, that's just a personal thing that, we love meeting Stitch.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you guys want to ideate with this rumor, or should we wrap this thing up?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do this.
Damon's tired. He wants to go to
bed. Exactly.
Trevor, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, as usual, anything we've talked about on the show, or if you guys have comments, questions, things you want us to bring up for the next show, you can find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. As we said earlier in the episode, we're looking for people that are going to Star Wars Land here at the opening in Disneyland. If you're interested in getting on to our next episode with us, drop us a line and we'll see if we can arrange for you to join us, because we would really love to hear somebody's firsthand accounts of the land and how it all plays out. As usual, we're on Facebook as well, so you can talk to us on Facebook at Welcome Home Podcast. We have Twitter and Instagram as well, which is Welcome Home Pod and Welcome Home Pics. Basically anything that we post on Facebook, you will see on Twitter and Instagram. So you can follow us that way as well if you don't want to like us on Facebook. And maybe, honestly, I haven't even looked at Twitter and Instagram. Maybe that's why we don't get everybody liking us on Facebook. But I just don't use those platforms. So that's just me. I don't know about you guys.
No, but I'll definitely be posting some pictures to Instagram as my trip goes on. So
awesome.
I will try to post a bunch of stuff on there. So
yeah, like I said, if anybody who wants to get a hold of us about the Star Wars Land stuff or about the next episode, we would love to hear from you. Also, if you are finding us via iTunes or Android or like Spotify or whatever, please leave us a review because as we've said before, those reviews help other people find the podcast. So we do appreciate it. We don't expect, good reviews. If you don't like us, you can tell us why, but at least give us, something constructive to work with, I guess. Don't just be like, it was bad.
You guys are the worst.
Yeah.
You stink. And, don't give us reviews for the other Welcome Home podcasts that are out there, because that would be bad, too.
I feel like we shouldn't even be mentioning that because, yeah.
Yeah, don't search for those.
Okay, I guess because people are probably now wondering. If you search for Welcome Home podcast, there is other podcasts that are on totally different subjects than Disney, and some of them are not PG necessarily. So keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind before you search it.
Look for Welcome Home Podcast Disney. If you do that, you will actually find our podcast.
Yeah, look for our logo. Look for a castle.
Yeah.
Of course, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you don't have to search for us and, you don't have to find those other podcasts. And also so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, any podcast app that's out there. Search for Welcome Home. We're going to show up. Again, look for the castle, right? Look for our logo just so you know that you're listening to the right show. Of course, just a reminder to our listeners, as always, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any opinions we express on the show are our own. So please consult a DVC representative, a Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you to DVC Resale Market, as always, for being our great partners and our great sponsors. We appreciate you guys sponsoring this episode, and talk to those folks over there if you have any questions about DVC, looking to buy or sell. They are great. So again, join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion and, of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
We do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.